So today I will be conducting a presentation on my paper, which I entitled, "Is This Accurate Enough? A Look into the Current and Future Cryptographic Protocols in Electronic Voting." And the main issue we want to get into is the practice of online voting and what is done currently, and public mistrust in regards to online voting. So currently, direct recording electronic voting devices are used when it comes to voting. And the main issue that is brought up with this is that it has a cause for great scrutiny because of the uncertainty of votes actually being counted, or if there is an error with tallying votes, there's no way of really knowing until the results are coming out. And with this, many experts believe that safeguards have to be put in place to ensure security, and not only that, voter turnout would be increased if they had like a better sense of certainty when it comes to vote counts actually being voted when putting it through a system. The main scrutiny with online voting is that it could be prone to attack that could be undetected, lower voter turnout due to public mistrust such as tallying errors, exposure of personal information, advanced rigging, and voter suppression issues. A real-life example I found was an app called Votes, which is a blockchain mobile voting app that was used in the 2018 U.S. midterm elections in West Virginia. And this app was also used in other local level elections across the U.S., but one of the main flaws that was found was that the system itself had been attacked and that many votes were being watched or modified by hackers. Another example of blockchain voting mobile apps used that I found was a 2019 Moscow, Russia. And this system was deployed and a section of code was made to the public, and a cybersecurity researcher was used to look at it. But the system still had flaws as it was very insecure. Efforts were made to rectify the situation in regards to the vulnerabilities that were present, but even after all of those trials, there still seem to be many issues with the app itself. And these blockchain voting trials were also taking place in Japan and Switzerland as well. So how do we fix this issue? Encryption is key. Encryption is used to conceal voter information, and a key generator, usually a third-party company, generates the key, and they are responsible for holding the decryption key for the voters' information. Another important part of this process is the use of hashes. And hashes themselves, if they don't match up, they can detect a single letter modification. And they should be checked often, so before a system is implemented, the hashes should all match up, and then afterwards or during, these hashes should be periodically checked. Also, an important note to make is that there are very different hash algorithms that are used. Same thing with cryptographic features. So there's different functions and different equations that can be used to ensure the confidentiality of voter information and votes themselves that are being calculated into the system. So how exactly can we improve the system? One of the ways that are mentioned through the research that I conducted was that you have to create an effective online voting system, and doing so requires a lot of time and a lot of proper research, as you have to have various trials to ensure that the system is free from very visible vulnerabilities, and then you also have to assume certain risks or different things that could happen. You have to consider every single possibility when creating a system. Another thing mentioned was the use of assessments for user experience to kind of help see where the flaws are within the system, and the use of external teams to conduct testing and to also figure out those risk assessments themselves. Possible solutions. The first I found was Mixnet, which is a proxy server that receives data and makes it difficult to trace back the source, kind of like how Tor operates, and also blockchain, which divides blocks of information and connects them with hashes. And this is my presentation.